What was a loophole that you found and exploited the hell out of? Back in college we found a loophole with coupons at Kroger for General Mills cereal. If you bought 4 boxes of cereal, each box was $1. But if you did the self-checkout, you would be printed out a coupon for $4 off your next purchase. We used the loophole to buy about 300 boxes of cereal. We only spent $12 on all of it. We would have spent less, but we had to go to another Kroger once the manager got wind of us. We kept around 20 boxes for ourselves and donated the rest to the local food bank. They were so excited when we showed up with 3 vehicles full of cereal. Totally worth the $12 and all the time it took. I worked in a call center during college. Our main performance measure was the number of donations solicited per contact. If the person didn't answer or hung up immediately, it didn't count against you. I discovered a bug where if I blew into the microphone just as the phone started to ring, it would register in the computer system as a no answer and dial the next number. I rode this out for several months before I got tired of blowing my microphone for 8 hours a day and quit. In elementary school we had the accelerated reading (AR) program. You would read a book, take a test on the computer, and be awarded points based on how well you did. At the end of the year you could buy things at the bookstore with the points you accumulated. I had just finished reading Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban and got a perfect score on the test. The computer was only supposed to allow you to take the test once, but I figured out you could take that specific Harry Potter book unlimited times. I racked up so many points and was never found out. Edit. Apparently a lot of people had an AR point scam. Who would have thought Reddit users would compete for fake points? I was once the only person to show up to a Microsoft CRM event. Since I was the only person to attend, I automatically won the door prize of Xbox 360 with a Kinect. The downside of this loophole was 3 long hours of talking with MS product evangelists who were very disheartened and desperate to make a sale. At my local movie theater, you could get a small drink for $2.50 or a large drink for $3.50. And large gets unlimited refills. Or you could get a Subiti for $2.50. But they didn't give you the Subi bottle because they wanted to avoid any broken glass incidents. So they poured the Subi into the large cup. Boom. Unlimited large drink refills. I saved several dollars that way. By accident I found a gumball machine. If you turned the dial really slow it would drop the gumball. Then you could dial it back just enough so the next gumball would drop into the tumbler bits. Then slowly dial forward again until it drops. etc. Got about 20 of them and stopped when I realized that I really didn't want to chew that much cheap gum. In the 80s Chuck E. Cheese's didn't shred the tickets you get out of their games and used to buy toys, candy etc. My friends and I were biking one day behind a strip mall practicing our wheelies and jumps. We saw a worker throwing a garbage bag of tickets into the dumpster behind Chuck E. Cheese. We grabbed it and then started circling back about once a week. Garbage bags and garbage bags full of tickets. We were doing so well. One of my friend's parents got in on it. She would take the minivan behind there and have her kids load up. And this is why tickets are now shredded. I think I still have a huge stockpile of frisbees and stuffed animals in my parents' attic somewhere. When you get married to someone and treat them well, if you play your cards right you can get unlimited 6 for life. My college didn't put any dates on our student IDs. No graduation year. No expiration date. Nothing. As a result, I kept using it to get student discounts for years after I graduated. Mostly the 15% off J. Crew discount. Penn State fixed that by making IDs fall apart after a year or two so they could charge you for a new one. Was in a trivia bowl type competition in college. As soon as the announcer began asking the question you could buzz in and answer. If you got the question wrong you lost no points and the question was skipped. My team answered the first question correctly and proceed to mash the buzzer for the rest of the round, effectively blocking out all the other questions. We won the round with a final score of 1 point. They changed the rules before the next round. Edit. Thanks for my first Reddit gold. It pays to exploit loopholes after all. Lol. You're the cause to the saying this is why we can't have nice things. People exploiting the shit out of rules in competitive games is how most loopholes get fixed anyway. I hesitantly bought 3 Bitcoin just as they were going up. Then sold one at their peak for the original cost of the 3. I've since spent my effectively free Bitcoin wealth on the only thing of value one can buy with Bitcoin, Reddit Gold. At time of writing, I have gilded 266 posts. When vending machines first started accepting credit cards, you could swipe your card, select a drink, and when the little drink pod starts moving to collect your drink, hit cancel. The cancel button would stop the card transaction but not the machine, so you could get free drinks. Was a sad day when it stopped working. Certain vending machines. The one that has a conveyor belt. If you stop it with your hand, you can get like 4 drinks for the price of 1. Back when Hollywood Video was around, they would guarantee new releases to be in stock. If they rented out all of their copies in the store, then they would give you a voucher for a free rental. I was in college at the time and would go into the store near my college campus at around 10 PM on a Friday night. There was simply no way for them to have any copies left by that time. So I would collect whichever vouchers were available. Rinse. Repeat. Cheaper than Redbox. My son attends speech and occupational therapy every week. Usually it is a $35 copay for each therapy. But if I do them on the same day, I only have to pay the copay once. Saves me about $140 a month. Edited to clarify, since it came across like my child was a therapist. There was a Papa John's coupon for 50% off if the official PJ Twitter retweeted you. I found the code looking through their website. I got half off pizza for a year and a half. Back in the day of flip phones. Can't do this anymore. I had a Razor which I ducking loved and learned that if I dipped the screen in water and put it in the freezer, freezing the water, the screen would stop working. But everything else continued to work fine. The sticker behind the battery was never touched and didn't change color. I would do this whenever my phone got scratched and then call up saying my screen stopped working. I would send it and they sent me a new one for free. Did it about 5 times. I discovered this because I left it out in the snow by accident once. It was awesome. My university requires that you change your password every few months or so. The new password can't be on that you've used in the past. Naturally this sucks because I have to remember yet another password. But you forget your password and reset it, it can be anything. And it counts towards changing your password. I've had the same password for my entire college career. Edit. Guys, I'm aware this is a security risk. You can't stop telling me now. I change my important passwords, banking, health insurance, loan accounts, etc. religiously. If you do really good the first 6 months at a job, you can coast for the rest of your time there. I used to do this the first few weeks of school. I was really quiet and asked questions to seem like I was interested. Handed in any work on time. Tried to do a really good job. Later if I missed assignments or was late with something, the teachers gave me the benefit of the doubt. It's all about first impressions. Edit. My top comment about being a slacker in high school. Nice. Years ago when online poker was a thing in the US, there were sites that let you look at statistics on other players. They'd give you like one free look. But I realized you could just manually change the player's name in the link and get unlimited free statistics from them. I used it a lot to see if someone was a good player or not before sitting down at tables with $20 plus buy-ins. This is a good one. I suck at poker, so I'd exploit the hell out of it. When I was younger, 12-13, I had one of those stupid timers on the computer that would only let me use the computer 2 hours a day before I got kicked. Found out that if you minimize the screen alerting you that you have run out of time, you never run out of time. Best summer ever. Mine would lock internet access on my account outside of 3 to 5 PM. I would just change the time on the computer. I worked at sandwich shop when I was a young lass. We were allowed one free sandwich for the entirety of our employment there. Being an endless pit of hunger 16-year-olds are, I was determined to get as many free sandwiches as possible. If someone called in a phone order and never picked it up, the sandwich was fair game for employees after an hour. So I would text my friends to call in the sandwich I wanted and then never pick it up. Every day I got free sandwiches. It was amazing. If I didn't eat it, I would bring it to school the next day and sell it. I hate having a great answer to late. I coach a high school team. We recently bought airfare with Spirit Airlines to take 9 students to a competition. 2 of the students cancelled about a month out from the trip, and we had to replace them with 2 different students. Spirit Airlines policy, no name changes. Can't even pay a fee to change the name. The tickets are basically lost. I have to buy new tickets. Spirit's customer service is overseas, and they plainly don't care at all about customer service, because they don't actually work for Spirit etc. Except that Spirit Airlines does allow passengers to correct misspellings. And these folks don't really recognize nonsense names. So over 4 calls, I changed the names of the cancelled students to the names of the new students. 2 letters at a time. No one at Spirit customer service made a note, because who would care? And no one ever notices that the correct names during the intermediate steps were nonsense. Also, Duck Spirit. A long time ago, Hostess Chips was the major brand in Canada at the time. Had a Mario Bros promo. You got a bingo card in each bag of chips and every card was a winner. You had to scratch 3 of 9 areas and if you matched the icons you won. One of my friends figured out that using a tin can with a tiny hole punched in the bottom and then dropped down onto a 100W light bulb, you could see through the card and find the winning spots to scratch. This spread around town and a week later there wasn't a single bag of chips to be found anywhere. Sold out all over town. We all had garbage bags of open chips around. I won one grand prize, which was a Super Mario Bros game. I'm not sure if this still works or not, but there used to be a 1-800 number on the bottom of a Wendy's receipt. And if you called it and took a survey, they'd give you a free cheeseburger. The thing is, when you got the free cheeseburger, they'd give you a receipt for the transaction. And at the bottom of that receipt, you guessed it, they've closed it now, but a couple years ago I discovered you could charge an American Express Serve card with a regular credit card by going to Walgreens. Or maybe it was Rite Aid, I forget. I have a credit card with 1.5% cash back. Every month I put $10,000 on the Serve card. That was the limit, and then just paid my CC bill with it. I cleared $150 month for free. Similar. But for a while the US Treasury was selling some stupid gold dollar coins with free shipping. So you could buy them with credit cards. Then take them straight to the bank to deposit and rake in all sorts of free airfare or other credit card bonuses. In college I bought a pack of coupons for Hungry Howie's Pizza. It had 3 coupons for a free pizza. No other requirements. Just a completely free pizza. I would call and order my pizza. Tell them that I had a coupon for a free pizza. Show up and forget to give them the coupon every time. I always had it on me as a backup, just in case they did ask for it. But out of the 3 coupons, they only asked for it once. I kept using them for months, until the coupons expired, which I am sure they were looking for. I ended up getting a few dozen free pizzas out of them, which was great for a college student. There used to be an electronics store called Hastings where I grew up that sold both new and used electronics. They had a deal that if you traded in 3 used games of a common type, for example, all PS2 games, you could get a brand new game for free. No strings attached. Just free. Any game of that system. So I would go into the store, buy 3 incredibly cheap used games, Base Pro Hunting or whatever it was called, for $5. They had dozens, and then walk out, double back, and then trade those in for a $60 brand new game. I did this constantly for a few months while being harassed by the managers there until they stopped the promotion. Wizard hats were really high for some reason. like 3-4k each. I figured out I could buy them from NPCs for 10 GP. I just ran around buying up all the hats on all the worlds. The final project for my software testing course in grad school was to buy one of those titles from the $5 rack at Best Buy, test it, and do a presentation on our findings. Instead, I exploited a flaw in the Blackboard software the school used for grades, class scheduling, etc. During my presentation, I logged in as the school's administrator and set my grades for both the final project and the class itself to 100%. The professor let my changes stand, so long as I agreed to repeat my presentation for the school's staff and someone from the Blackboard development team. Back in the 80s, raffle for a car had write your own entries. Printed off thousands of pages of entries on my printer. One car. Unfortunately, I was too young to drive. My sister totaled it before I got my license. Easy come. Not truly a loophole, but I got a flyer in the mail one day from a pizza joint advertising $5 large pizzas on certain days of the week with a code that was valid for another month. I'm still using the code to this day. 3 years later, it's only worked at the local branch so far, but I've been riding that gravy train as hard as possible.